Well, this week, Meta announced they're launching a new subscription service on Instagram and Facebook. Meta Verified would allow users to pay to become verified. That move will be somewhat similar to what Elon Musk's Twitter Blue service does. And joining me now is Dr. Olaf Groth, global strategist and faculty at UC Berkeley Haas School of Business. So what is the largest significance of Meta Verified, and who actually is going to pay for this?
Yeah, good Friday morning there, Ryan. It's interesting. This was driven by, people like VIPs having concerns about being impersonated by others, and that limits the trustworthiness of these platforms and really pulls down their value, right? So I understand that need, and I think, frankly, authentication should be available for everybody. I don't know that it is really going to make a huge dent in Facebook's or Twitter's revenue stream, because people are just sort of expecting this kind of feature to be part of a trustworthy platform available to everybody, right? But essentially, it is an early indicator that we're seeing the end of sort of the so-called, free for everything, free for everybody on every platform kind of model, toward really a freemium model where you're going to have to start paying for some value add features. And that brings with it a whole slew of other questions around, equity on these platforms that we've gotten so used to as a matter of public infrastructure, both for social as well as news purposes.
So are social media companies hurting? Is that why they're charging more? Are they trying to create revenue?
Well, look, I mean, obviously they're still very profitable, but their revenues and profits have taken a beating. Because of Apple's policy on privacy protection that makes tracking and essentially surveillance of consumers a lot harder. Then also consumer spending starting to recede a bit now that we're waiting sort of for whether it's going to be a hard or a soft landing. People are starting to spend a little differently, and that impacts ad revenue in turn. And so, these platforms are looking for new revenue sources. That's not a bad thing. And so this is all part of that larger wave. But whether this particular feature will actually be a major revenue generator, I kind of doubt at this point.
Yeah. Okay, well, moving on. There's growing conflict between the U.S. and China following that suspected spy balloon. Now we're hearing China's courts are nabbing Western technology. So what is in store for business leaders in the era of geotech?
Yeah, this is technology of various shades becoming really getting to the core of geopolitics here, right? Specifically on these lawsuits or these court rulings in China, I think what we're seeing is that more and more Western companies are incurring negative rulings by Chinese courts, which is evidence of two things. One is that Chinese companies are actually moving up the innovation value chain, so they are getting a little closer to the innovation prowess of Western technology companies. And that means there is going to be more tussles about who really had the edge here on any given technology. That's number one. But number two, of course, China sees itself now with its back against the wall, thanks to some of these sanctions and restrictions that we have been putting in place here in the United States. It's limiting access to Western technology in China. And so in turn, of course, then China is starting to flex its muscle in limiting market access and potentially the standing and the potential of Western companies in that market. So there is both, I think, a realization that we need to see China very differently in terms of its own innovation prowess, and also understand that some of this is politically motivated, politically driven. And what that means for Bay Area companies is that you have to develop capabilities, new capabilities, to deal with those new geopolitical realities, essentially, as part of your strategy. And yes, that's costly and that's complex, and it's not something that every company inherently does really well. But it is the reality if you want to engage with China.
Yeah, no doubt there. Well, this week, Google faced the Supreme Court over Section 230. That case challenges the law that tech companies are actually liable for the material posted on their platform. So what does this mean, and what does this mean for Google and other platforms moving forward?
Yeah, so this whole thing is about what's called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act that was put in place a number of years ago. And it was intended to protect internet companies that were inherently categorized as tech companies rather than media companies from liability suits such as the ones that we're seeing in front of the Supreme Court now, because the logic was that these platforms are essentially just facilitating the exchange of opinions and views and news on their homepages, and were not editorially responsible for that content. So some of these lawsuits are now alleging that actually terrorist groups have been gaining influence on platforms like Google's YouTube or on Twitter, and family members of individuals, victims killed by terrorist attacks, are now suing these internet companies, saying you have to be more responsible in censoring that content and taking it down if you have reason to believe these are extremists.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
All right.
Olaf Grove
Thank
from
you.
UC Berkeley. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.